Hey house guests, welcome to today's Big Brother Canada 7 updates and spoilers. Our house guest of the day is Teresa Lyons. Teresa, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it and could not do this without you. So, we think you're pretty awesome. And if you guys want to be house guests of the day like Teresa, check out our Patreon link in the info box below. Alright, so when we left off yesterday, the vote was still very much up in the air. It looked like Kira had the votes locked, but now, could it be flipping back to Mackie? Watch and find out! Okay, so Dane really wants Sam out next week. I mean, obviously she's not up on the block this week, but maybe next week. So he's more likely to be able to get this done with Mackie in the house than with Kira, because Kira is super tight with Sam, Adam, and Chelsea. So the chance of Kira going after Sam is much lower than the chance of Mackie going after Sam. So that's a huge point in Mackie's favor, right? So Kira is getting a little bit desperate. And Kira decides to up the ante with Dane and really try and sweeten that deal. Because before, Kira was saying, oh, if I win HOH, you'll be safe for like the next 2 weeks, blah, blah, blah. You know, if I win HOH within the next 2 weeks, whatever, I don't know. So now Kira is telling Dane, if I win HOH, I will not put you up for the rest of the season. Oh my god, are you serious right now? And that's not even the end of it. Kira also says, obviously, if I win HOH, I'm going to want to put up Kaylin, because Kaylin is their target right now. But Kira says to Dane, you would have a say in my second nominee. You're doing too much. All you have to say is that you will go after Sam. Honestly, that's all you have to say. So it's crazy that Kira's like offering all this stuff, and Dane is like, yeah, I appreciate the offer, thank you so much. But he says he doesn't want to pull the trigger yet until like the last second, because he doesn't want to give, you know, he doesn't want everybody freaking out again and being like, oh, I gotta do this, I gotta do this. So yeah, he's holding off and being like, I can't decide yet. Damn. Okay, so do you guys think that Kira would actually stay true to that deal? Because that's pretty freaking insane to tell somebody that you're not going to put them up for the whole entire season. Alright, so let's talk about the twins, SC and Kiki. Now, they were kind of like living in their own little bubble before, and just like, oh, Mackie's staying, it's so awesome, blah, blah, blah. But now, thanks to Eddie, which I mentioned yesterday, the twins are now aware that the votes may not be there to keep Mackie. So it's time for them to get to work. So they were talking to Dane in the HOH room, because they're supposed to have this thing with Dane and Mark. I mean, it's pretty much obvious to us that it's secondary to the Pretty Boys Alliance. But Dane also has a huge crush on Esty. So yeah, he's gonna want to listen to what she has to say as well. So Dane says that Kira won't leave him alone, because I think at the very beginning of this conversation, Kira actually came in and was saying like something about the iPod, or I don't know. But Dane was like, oh, I can't get a second alone. So the girls are like, alright, well, what's up with the votes? You know, where's that all at? So Dane is like, well, people are wavering, but, you know, we're all sticking to the plan, meaning to vote out Kira, which at the time was a lie. Because at that point, Dane still wanted Kira to stay. So Dane mentions that Mackie is really screwing up his own game with his honesty. He is not good at this game. He's not. Apparently Mackie said in his power of veto speech, which we'll see on tonight's show, that he's a strong competitor, which is not something that you want to admit openly, right? And we know that he also said that he would potentially put up Dane and or Adam if he was to stay and win HOH, because he's like, it's only fair, you put me up, blah, blah, blah. So, Kiki says, okay, well, that's not good. You know, we need to start coming up with a plan to cover our asses if Mackie does go this week. So Dane's like, all right, well, you need to do damage control with Adam, because Kiki the other day decided to tell Adam, oh, I feel like we're not really vibing here. Not a good idea. It's really not. But anyway, Esty back on task here, campaigning for Mackie, she says, you know what, it's good to keep a bigger target around because he's like a meat shield in front of you, blah, blah, blah. And she also mentions, now this is the golden campaigning point, Mackie will take a shot at Sam if he stays. Bingo! That's exactly what Dane wants to hear. But Dane is still concerned that Mackie would put him up. He needs to hear it from Mackie himself. So then Esty goes to work. She's talking to Mackie in the archives room. She's trying to freaking coach him because this guy is not cut out for this game. So Esty asks him straight up, if you won HOH, who would your target be? And Mackie's like, I can't even pretend to imagine that. It hurts me. What? And Esty's like, yeah, but that's the game. You know, we have to send people home. That's just kind of how this whole thing works. So Esty's like, I know you want to play an honest game. That's great. But if you continue to be this blunt and honest, you're not going to be around for very long. You know, that gameplay is not going to keep you here. So Mackie's like, so what? Like, the game is to lie about everything? Come on, man. Come on. So Esty is explaining to him why it was bad for Mackie to tell Dane that he would nominate him. And then guess who joins them? It's Dane. So Dane cozies up on one of the shelves in the archive room. It's kind of weird. But Esty is trying to clean up this whole mess between Dane and Mackie. So Mackie's saying he feels like he still has the votes. Not so much, man. You better get it together. So then Esty's like, all right, Mackie, we know that you're saying if you stay and you win HOH that you would go after Corey. But who would you put up against Corey? So Mackie's like, I mean, I guess I'd put up Dane because I already told him. What are you doing? Come on, man. Come on. Just try a little bit. Just try. I want to root for him so bad because I think he's a really cool person, but like, come on. So Esty is like, okay, but why wouldn't you put up someone like maybe, I don't know, Sam, who's like trying to flip the votes this week? And Mackie says, if that's what the house wants, then yeah, that'll happen. I'll do that. Thank you. So Dane perks up when he hears this, and he's like, yes, tell people that. Tell Anthony that. Just don't tell Adam or Chelsea that, and obviously not Sam. So Mackie does go and talk to Anthony a little while later, and Mackie starts out by asking, do I still have your vote? And Anthony's like, yeah, as long as I'm not the only one voting for you to stay. So Mackie's like, well, everyone has confirmed their vote for me except for Adam, Sam, and Chelsea. But people are kind of like wavering, so it's really confusing. So Anthony tells Mackie where he went wrong. He was like, your POV speech freaking sucked. You were way too confident, way too cocky. You really spooked people by saying that you were a huge competitor. You just shouldn't do that. So then Mackie drops the golden info that he would nominate Corey and Sam next week. And again, this is exactly what Anthony wants to hear as well, because Anthony and Dane have had a lot of conversations about how they want Sam out. So Anthony likes it. He's like, yeah, Sam's not a physical threat, but she's trying to make final twos with a lot of people. I feel like this may be something that was happening before the feeds came on in the first week, because I've heard it mentioned multiple times. Enough times that it seems like it's not just something that they made up to tank her game. I think like there may have been something with Laura, I don't know. But that, and something about Sam like screwing over the girls too, because they were talking about having like a girls alliance and then she ditched them for Adam. So like I don't know what the deal is with that completely, but it sounds like it's a possibility. I don't know. But Anthony was trying to give Mackie some advice. He was like, you should talk to the people who want you out, like Sam, Adam, Chelsea. You need to throw your pride out the window and just like go talk to them. So Mackie does talk to Sam, and he's like, will you keep me? And she says that she's gonna vote with the house. That is not what you want to hear when you're up on the block, right? Ugh. So she says she feels like she has a better chance of beating Kira in competitions, and she feels like Kira is not going to put her up if she does win HOH, if they do win HOH. So Sam just wants to hear from Mackie that he wouldn't put her up if he won HOH. You know Mackie is not all about the lying here. So Mackie's like, I can't give you that security. I'm sorry. What are you doing? So Sam is like, well, that doesn't make me feel good. You know, I feel like I'm an option for you, and I feel like this is something that's already been discussed before, because they were saying how Mackie would put up Corey and possibly like Sam, but Sam wouldn't go home. So Mackie's like, well, I don't want to put you on the block. Oh no. Okay, let's check in with the pretty boys. Where do they stand on this issue right now? Because they have quite a few votes here to give out. So Dane and Anthony want Mackie to stay. They are pretty much salivating at the idea of Mackie taking Sam out for them. They would love for that to happen. Adam is campaigning hard for Mackie to go. And then Mark is undecided. I really feel like Mark wants to coast for as long as possible, which is super boring to watch. But at the same time, I can't really blame people for wanting to do that for at least part of the game, right? But it is super boring to watch. So he's like, I'm going to do whatever Dane wants because he's the HOH. But it seems like he is leaning towards wanting Kira to stay because he's nervous that if they do keep Mackie around, that they're not going to have another good chance to get rid of him because he could just keep saving himself with the power of veto. So he's a little bit nervous about that. Alright, so then Eddie, oh, I love that Eddie's getting in the game here. He checks in with Mackie, and he's like, I'm a little disappointed that we haven't had that much game chat here. I really want us to talk more game moving forward. And Mackie's like, yes, absolutely. So then Eddie tells Mackie, you need to do a better job of campaigning. And he's right, because Mackie has kind of just been sitting back and chilling, and now he could be in some trouble here. So Mackie's like, what more do I need to do? People are telling me yes. What do I have to do? Get them to suck my dick? And then... which is hilarious, but then Big Brother was like, cut the feeds, cut the feeds. They must be sitting there in the control room, like, just waiting for, like, any dick mention or anything like that, and they're like, oh, gotta cut the feeds. So, anyway, when they come back, Eddie is saying, I'm gonna campaign hard for you, okay? I'm gonna do that for you. And Mackie says, that's awesome, I will return the favor if the time comes and you need help. Aww. Alright, so Eddie is trying to give Mackie some advice here. He clues him in. He's like, me, Kiki, Essie, Kaylin, we're not swing votes this week. Like, you have us. So you need to go work on other people. Meaning, like, Anthony, Damien, and Mark. You need to lock those down. Right? So, what's his face? Mackie. Mackie is like, thank you. I appreciate that. Meanwhile, Anthony is trying to work on Adam a bit because, you know, if they can't get, what's the word I'm looking for? Not a consensus, but the pretty boys, I feel like, are going to want to be in full agreement here. It's going to be really awkward if there's, like, one person that doesn't want to go along with something and the other three do. So Anthony is trying to convince Adam that Mackie should be staying. So he's like, you know what? Mackie has his tail between his legs at this point. His whole energy has changed. He's not moonwalking all over the place today. So you can tell he's realizing that he's going to need to, like, suck up to some people here. So Anthony says, we can use Mackie to our advantage. We should try and make a deal with him. But Adam is like, no. He's arguing they have a much better chance to beat Kira in competitions. It's kind of like the same things he's been saying over and over again. And Adam says, I control Sam, Sam controls Kira, and Kira is close with Chelsea. Those girls are all together, well, girls and Kira, and they all want to work with us. So it just works out. It makes more sense for us to keep Kira. So Adam is not really budging, but he does agree to talk about it more with the pretty boys later on. Okay, so then Adam and Sam were chatting by the hot tub, and there is some freaking tension here, and this time it is not sexual, it is anger. So she was apologizing to him. He was really pissed off at her for a few reasons yesterday. First of all, she was talking to Mackie about how she knows, this was really creepy too. She was talking to Mackie about how she knows that he's a recruit, and she mentioned that there's some people meaning Adam, who have tried out for the show like 5 times, and they worked really hard to get there. And she kind of like threatened Mackie and said something along the lines of like, just know that I have this information, and if that got out there, it could make some people really upset and not want you around. Like something like that. It was like really creepy. But Adam was pissed that she dropped that info because he doesn't want people knowing what a big fan he is. So she also messed up earlier when she was talking to Kiki, and she made it clear that she wants Mackie out. Instead of saying that she's undecided and she's going to vote with the House, which is what like everybody else is saying. So he's like, why would you put that information out there? We don't even know if we can trust Kiki for sure. And now you're giving her this ammunition to use against you. So that sucks. And then he was suspicious of her having final twos with other people because the pretty boys keep bringing this up to him. So she's like, I don't have any final twos, blah, blah, blah. I swear on all these people. So Adam's like, okay, whatever. Well, Mackie's probably going to stay now. So there's that. And Sam is like, well, we don't know. Chelsea and I plan on telling Dane that Mackie said that he would put Dane up on the block. Which, of course, everybody knows that Dane already knows that. But she's arguing that if he hears it again and again and again, it's going to have more of an impact. But, like, no. Because at this point, Dane has gotten confirmation from Mackie that Mackie wants to put Sam up. So, like, he's not going to say that to Sam's face, even though he kind of is. So it doesn't matter. But Sam is like, Adam, I put you ahead of myself in the game. So you don't have to worry about, like, trusting me or whatever. Okay, so then Eddie follows through on his promise to Mackie. He starts campaigning to Sam and Adam hardcore for Mackie. And this was really interesting because Eddie had a lot of points here that haven't really been brought up. So it was kind of like a new perspective for them. I think it was kind of working. So Eddie says that, you know, I've noticed Kira only comes to me when they need something, and that doesn't make me feel very good. Eddie also brings up that if there's some sort of fan vote sometime throughout the season, which there usually is, he thinks that there's a really good chance that Kira will win it because people are going to be rooting for them, going to be interested in their story. So, and especially if they're like an underdog, there's a strong possibility that Kira could get the vote. So they're like, ooh, I don't know. So then Eddie makes the point, if we take out Mackie, who is a comp beast, that's going to set a precedent for the season. You know, this is only the second eviction of the season. It's really going to set the tone here. Do you really want people to be targeting all of the comp beasts when Adam is like Mr. Comp Beast? No. So then he also says Mackie has only seen one season. Kira is kind of like a super fan here. So he feels like Mackie is going to be a lot easier to manipulate because he doesn't really know the game. It's true. Like, when you think about it, yeah, Mackie could potentially win some competitions here, but he is freaking clueless when it comes to this game. So he's going to need people telling him what to do. And he also thinks that Mackie might start throwing competitions so that he won't look like as much of a big threat. And it seems like these points are really hitting home with at least Adam, sort of Sam, and they're like, whoa, I didn't think of it that way. So then, what's his name? I'm really forgetting people's names today. Adam was having more conversations with the pretty boys throughout the evening, and it seems like he's realizing the votes are not there anymore to keep Kira. Honestly, I think Eddie just campaigning to them at all in Mackie's favor is kind of a wake-up call because they thought that they controlled his vote, and now they're hearing that he wants to keep Mackie around, so that's kind of a sign like, whoa, things could be flipping here. But it seems like he's warming up to the idea of Mackie staying because if the votes aren't there, the votes aren't there. But he doesn't realize that the pretty boys want Mackie to stay specifically so he can take out Sam. So Adam is still thinking that Corey would be the target here. I think he knows that there is a chance that Sam would go up, but he thinks that Corey would be the target, which is not the case. If Sam is up on the block, woo, they're going to want to get rid of her. Okay, so this morning, Dane and Mackie were in the HOH room, and Dane confirms, yes, he wants Mackie to stay and take out Sam. So he's trying to fire Mackie up, saying, like, Sam's campaigning against you. You need to take her out. But he's also trying to set up a plan here. So he's telling Mackie, you need to go talk to Sam and tell her that you would put up Corey and Damien up on the block. Don't say my name, because then it's going to be all messy. This is interesting because I feel like Dane is really showing how much he's working with Adam and Sam, because why would they care if Dane's name is being thrown around, you know? So I feel like it's showing a connection there. He should really be careful with that. But he's like, you need to tell Sam that you would put up Corey and Damien. So Mackie does not really want to do this. He doesn't really want to bring Damien into this when it's unnecessary, but he's like, okay, if that's what I have to do. So Sam is really upset with Adam today. These two have had a lot of drama lately. So Adam talked to Mackie, and then he shared this conversation with Sam. So basically when he was talking to Mackie, they agreed that they're not going to go after each other, blah, blah, blah. I'm pretty sure they're both just covering their asses. And of course, Mackie wants to get that vote, right? And of course, Adam is going to tell him, you have my vote, if he knows that Mackie's going to stay anyway. So he also told Mackie, and then told Sam, that if at some point Sam is evicted, he wants Mackie to know that he's not going to be all like pissed off and go crazy on everyone. Oh boy. I'm sure Sam felt great hearing that. So Sam said, great, none of this is good for me. It's all good for your game though. Because now she's like, so people are going to think they can just come after me and there's going to be no repercussions. Like, you're not going to care. What the hell is that? So Adam's like, well, if you want to branch out, we can. We never actually made like a final 2 deal. Oh my god! Sam has been saying that she would freaking sacrifice her game for Adam. It's insane. So Sam's like, alright, well, let's just not work together anymore. It's not working for me. It's not working for you. And then she says, when I go home next week, it's because I put my trust in you. And Adam's like, don't put that on me. I'm trying to get people on our side. I'm trying here. So he also drops this gem. I told Mackie to wait until jury to go after you. But I mean, to be fair, his reasoning was when Sam told him the other day, like, I just need to be here for a few more weeks, then I'll be happy. So I guess he just wants to go to Bangtown and jury, right? He wants to make sure that that's a lock. So she's not happy with him. But anyway, not long after, Sam talks to Kira, and Sam's like, well, seems like right now the consensus is to keep Mackie, meaning you're going home, and then I'll be going next. So Kira was like, what are you talking about? And then Sam goes on to explain why she's going to be in danger because of her relationship with Adam, blah, blah, blah. But you know Kira wants to know about their situation. It's hilarious in that sense. But anyway, now Kira is like, oh crap, you know, what's going on here? So Kira is campaigning like crazy. If you thought they were campaigning a lot before, woo! They're going nuts now, and it's a lot of the same stuff. It's exhausting. I think Kira was also telling people, like, there's a good chance that I could come back, blah, blah, blah. Alright, so meanwhile, you want to talk about boneheaded moves here? Dane is already planning out Mackie's HOH week. That may never even happen. He's already talking like it's set that Mackie's going to win the next HOH. So Dane was with Damien and Mackie. And Dane tells Damien that if Mackie wins HOH, he's going to put Corey and Sam up on the block. Sam is the target. But if Corey wins Power Veto, they could still get rid of Sam. But, ooh, sorry, Damien, you're probably going to have to be the replacement nominee. What are you doing? Why are you going to tell somebody that when you don't even know who the HOH is going to be? You don't even know for 100% sure that Mackie is staying. Like, this is just insane to me. This should be a huge red flag for Damien moving forward with his relationship with Dane. That he's willing to just, like, put him at risk like that. I think it was really stupid on Dane's part. But anyway, The eviction is tomorrow. At this point, Mackie has the votes to stay. The question is, will it flip again? You never know. You never know. I don't know. At this point, I would say it's looking like Mackie's going to stay, but this game is crazy, so anything can happen. So let me know what you guys think in the comments, and until tomorrow, much love.